good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Sir Meerkat, and welcome back to the Moto Meerkat channel. Now, of course, this week had to be a livery ranking video, didn't it? Of course, what else would you be expecting? But just before we jump into it, I do want to give a quick shout out to everyone who has sent in a photo that is on the wall behind me. That's things from incredible fan art, some photos of yourselves, or just some silly memes. Every submission has been a fantastic addition to my kind of working space, so thank you to everyone that sent one in. As you can see, the whole thing's starting to properly take shape now, but there's no real deadline on the project, and I'd like to completely fill out the background if possible. So if you would like to add something to this background, then check the description for an email, drop me an email with whatever photo you want up there, and I'll be sure to do that for you. But yeah, back to the liveries. I had such a fun time doing all these livery reveal streams this year, but there was honestly no single manufacturer where I went, oh yeah, they've absolutely smashed it. Every livery seemed to have a little design error or some colouring mishaps and things like that which they could improve, but overall, all the teams did a solid job, and I cannot wait to see them actually out on track. Well, I've just realised, as you see this, you will have already seen them out on track, because we will have already had day one of testing, but as I'm recording this, I haven't already seen it. I'm getting confused. Right, before I break the space-time continuum, let's get started with Sir Meerkat's ranking of the 2021 Formula 1 liveries from worst to best. And in 10th position, it's Scuderia Ferrari. Now, this first choice was actually the only one which matched up with my on-stream choice, where I gave the livery a 27 out of 50, which ended up ranking it in 10th, and indeed, last place. The Ferrari was just really disappointing this year, wasn't it? Obviously, we love to see teams changing it up a little bit and trying to spice up their usual liveries, and we would always say, how do you mess up a Ferrari? Well, despite this difficulty, Ferrari have managed to do just that. I really dislike that change from red to burgundy at the rear end of the car. Doesn't do it for me. I didn't really rate the use of burgundy anyway. They used a kind of similar colour on the 1000th Grand Prix car that they were using at Mugello, and I don't think the colour works very well on this car either, and the switch from one colour to another is so abrupt, it just looks silly. And then also, what everyone's thinking, the Mission Winnow logo is in green. What? Now, don't get too disheartened at Ferrari. I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to race with any of the Mission Winnow branding, so that element should be gone on the actual car, and they more kind of used it as a marketing tool, because it did get people talking about Mission Winnow, to be fair, so I can't really knock them for that, honestly, like, fair enough. But yeah, to even have the audacity to put that green there, get in the bin, Ferrari. And in 9th position, it's Williams. On stream, I was actually blinded a little bit for this one, just because of how different the livery actually was. Hence why I rated it 34.5 out of 50, which ended up putting it in 5th place. Now that I've had a little bit more of a chance to look at the livery in a bit more detail, it's not really my favourite, I can't lie. Again, I do like that Williams did try and do something new. This car is definitely very new. And I do think the livery fits in with this kind of brand style that Williams are now going for, especially with their introduction of now the Umbro brand. And for the actual design itself, I do like the rear end of the car. I think that the change from light blue to dark blue is nice how they've done it, but the stripes do kind of look a little bit like piano keys, don't you think? Vanessa Carlton confirmed as first driver. No one's even gonna get that joke, it's just But the front of the car is where it gets a little bit more tricky to like. How it flows from colourful to then just white looks really odd. And let's address the elephant in the room. Orange? Why is there orange on a Williams? Honestly, if it was yellow to make like a nod to old Williams liveries, it would have been really cool. I would have liked that inclusion, but orange, it doesn't work and it just seems weird. I don't get it. And in 8th position, it's Mercedes. On stream, I gave this car 36 out of 50, which would have put it in 2nd place. But after my initial really liking of it, I did start to compare it a bit more with last year's livery and started to question some of the changes of did they really actually make it any better. Now, overall, I wouldn't say I particularly on one end like it or one end dislike it, this livery, but to be fair, I'll pick out a few things I do and don't like. So I love the introduction of more Petronas blue. It looks sleek, it looks mean, and especially from the shots of the car in front of it, oh god, damn, it looks good. But this higher amount of blue really clashes with the higher amount of Ineos red that they've now had to put on as well. And honestly, kind of that introduction of more red as well has kind of just made the car too busy overall. It's just a lot to look at. And that busyness really isn't helped by the fact that they've just decided to copy and paste 3 letters all over the rear, but there we are. And in 7th position, it's Red Bull. On stream, I gave this one a rating of 34.5 out of 50, which would have placed it in 6th position, but let's be honest, it's just the 2020 livery, but less cool because Aston Martin has now been replaced by Honda on the rear wing, so there you go. It's a classic livery, but I would have liked to see them do a little bit more. And in 6th position, it's McLaren. On stream, I gave this livery a rating of 34 out of 50, which would have placed it in 7th, just behind that Red Bull. And similarly to the Red Bull, McLaren kept their livery very similar to last year's design, but overall, this newer design, well, newer with the few changes that they had, is very nice, I can't lie. And it's great to also see Zach Brown getting so many sponsors on that car. There's so much blackness of sponsors now that we're starting to not be able to see any orange. Zach, you need to calm down, mate. But yeah, Zach doing fantastic business for McLaren, to be fair, so keep it up, son. And in 5th position, it's Alfa Tauri. On stream, this one would have ranked in 3rd position, as I gave it 35.5 out of 50. But I have got to say, doesn't the car look a little bit like a boat with the split between the blue and the white? It really does when you actually notice it. Let's just hope it drives a little bit better than a boat. The only critique I do have, however, is how the line between the blue and the white moves so weirdly at the rear of the car. It suddenly drops down for seemingly no reason, which then massively squishes that bright red Honda logo. Now, I know Red Bull, they've kind of left you hanging, haven't they, Honda? Like, I feel bad for you with them dropping out there, but you've done them really, really dirty with the logo placement there and the squishing, so sad to see, but there we are. And in 4th position, it's Aston Martin. On stream, I really hammered this one, I can't lie, it was pretty unfair of me. It ended up ranking in 8th with a score of 31.5 out of 50. But I have to be fair on it, now I've looked at it in a bit more detail. I think the pink is going to grow on us, I think it will. I am still a bit heartbroken that we've lost that lime green that was both going to be on the side of the car and on the race suits, because oh my god, BWT, you have ruined those race suits. But as I say, I am willing to give the pink a chance, and hopefully it does look a little bit better outside on track than it did in the renders, because the renders on some of them, they would just look like completely different shades of pink and green. It was very odd. But anyway, overall, the livery is very, very nice. I think the word to use for it would be understated. And I do wish that they'd been a little bit more out there with the design maybe, but I also do understand and respect the type of brand image that they're looking to go for as Aston Martin. So I understand that decision to keep it kind of simple and classy. I will also say the addition of Cognizant looks really nice, fits very well on the livery. I like their branding. And also the addition of Aston Martin to the side of the cockpit just fits perfectly. It looks great. And in 3rd position, it's Alfa Romeo. On stream, I gave this livery 35 out of 50, which would have put it in 4th position, but I've slightly bumped it up to 3rd. Another team which have decided to go for the kind of inverse colour trick to last time, and Alfa Romeo, I would say, have done it a little bit better than Alfa Tauri did. The red dominant of last year did look very, very nice, but I've got to say, this white dominance really stands out and has that wow factor. The split between the two colours is also done better than on the Alfa Tauri, I reckon, as it doesn't actually look like a boat, which is always a positive. And also, the Alfa Romeo logo looks absolutely epic in red, and the fact that it's just huge across the side, like it. And in 2nd position, it's Haas. Okay, I reckon this one might be one of my most controversial ones, but there we are. On stream, I actually ranked this one in 1st with a score of 37 out of 50, and although I'm moving it down to 2nd, I'm still sticking to my guns and saying that I do really like it. And so does my best friend Putin over here. Now let me just clear up for a second. The fact that they've gotten around this Russian flag ban by just making the entire branding of the team a Russian flag is kind of despicable, but kind of a stroke of genius. Uralkali, obviously Mazepin's dad's company, is now the title sponsor and one of very few sponsors on that Haas car. So I guess the Russian giant just kind of wanted to show their monetary power, show where they're really from, and also show that kind of power over a struggling American team, as that Haas American flag on the side of the car is looking very sad. But ignoring the whole Russian flag element of it, just looking at it as a livery, it's bloody stunning, I can't lie. I do like how they've used white as the base color again, similarly to some other liveries on the grid that I do like, but this has included blue and red with it, and how they've designed the flowing of those colors down the car is one of the best in my opinion. And the addition of the retro style numbering, although it does kind of make it look a little bit like Herbie, it does have quite the charm and fits in well, I'd say. The only thing I would bring up is that I don't really like the front wing too much. It just seems a little bit overwhelming with colors and things going on, but the livery overall, top quality. And in first position, it's Alpine. And then finally, I think we all saw this coming, didn't we? Let's be honest, the Alpine is just wow. Now I've compared it to all the others, it just really does stand out. Now on stream, it didn't blow me away. I don't really know why, as I gave it 30 out of 50, which placed it in 9th. Streaming John was clearly just a complete moron. The colours of the car just stand out so much. Now we can compare it to the other cars that are going to be on the grid as well. It really just is, wow, it's there, it's Alpine, I like it. The split from the blue to the white and then to red is a great bit of colour transition on the rear of the car, and also allows for the incorporation of the Alpine logo and creates a French flag. That design is just class. And then the front wing looks epic as well, with the sleek nose cone of the Renault that we've come to love now being passed over to the Alpine, and the range of colours going on as well look awesome, and the French flag appearing again on the end plates. Nice. The only problem I would say that I do have with this car was the bit of design on the side of the cockpit. Why did they put the Mapfre logo on a red background? It doesn't link up with any other red part of the design. It's just there by itself. It's really weird. And that's honestly why I think I ranked it so low when I initially saw it. It's just such an eyesore to the rest of the livery. I don't get why they decided to include it there. I think maybe white could have worked better than red standing out so much, but there we are. I've managed to move past it, and hopefully it fits in a little bit better on the real car than it did on the renders. But there we have it. Those are my rankings of the 2021 Formula 1 liveries from worst to best. But what do you think of my decisions? You probably thought they were a load of poppycock, right? Well then, be sure to leave your rankings in the comments down below and let me know why you disagree or agree with my opinions. I always love to see what you meerkats have to say. But if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like on it down below. I do really appreciate that, and subscribe to the Moto Meerkat channel as well so you don't miss any of my future motorsport content. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you meerkats later. Goodbye, guys!